Hello, welcome back to Kavindi Gamage YouTube channel. So once again, we are with a special guest. You all know we got our O-level results quite recently, and some of you all are happy with your results and some are sad with your results. By the way, these are just obstacles in your life. You can just take it and see. You can get the challenge and see how it goes. So, as usual, we are having some programs with the special guests. So, we have a very beautiful friend today, Miss Vidva. She is a student still. She's a former student of mine. So, first of all, Vidva, congratulations for your 9 A's.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and thank you very much for joining with us. So we are going to ask simple questions from her because she has done literature as an O-level subject and she got an A for O-level literature. So the purpose of this channel and this program just to make you encourage and to have you confidence to do English literature as a subject, because you all know English literature, it's a kind of like doing English anyway, it would be really helpful, especially nowadays with the situation and the things going on in the country and everything. So, when you do English literature, especially as a subject, even though you don't select English literature for your A levels, uh, even the fact that you do English literature as an O-level subject also helpful for you all. It will be a good advantage for your future career. So let's ask some questions from her because she got an A. You can get to know some tips and how she approached the goal and all. So first of all, Vidva, tell me, who are you? Who is Vidva?
Well, Miss, I am from Panipatia and I'm a student of Museus College. I belong to the 2021 O-level batch, although we did our exams much later in 2022.
Yeah. And currently, what are you doing? Are you getting ready for your A levels or what?
Actually, Miss, I'm not doing A-levels. I'm pursuing a foundation course right now because, it will be like you can go to a degree and do something like that.
Okay, good. Right, something new. So that's also quite interesting because what the path that you have selected. Okay, so let's back to O-level English literature. So tell me, first of all, why did you select literature? Because I know like there are several subjects like basket subjects, for you to select languages and aesthetic subjects. Yeah. So what makes you to select English literature, especially for O levels?
To be honest, Miss, since I was quite young, I've been obsessed with reading. Like, I love to read a lot of books, all sorts of books. So, I think my love for reading is what actually got me into pursuing literature as an O level subject. Because I personally believe that literature to not be a mere subject, but as an opportunity to grow yourself as a person.
Okay. So then how did you like while going on, while doing the subject, it's because most of the students are quite reluctant to select this as a subject because it's like English, like some, mostly our students are afraid of the subject English. When it says English literature, it becomes a big issue, like big thing, because like English is hard. So then how do we do English literature? So how did you improve your English, your standard, your language?
Actually, Miss, like in addition to the anthology and our syllabus, reading other stuff and keeping in touch with the language helped a lot. Like it could be watching shows and dramas and things as well. It could be anything, but you have to keep in touch with the language. And also, I have to say, actually, Miss, you helped a lot in developing my vocabulary because you always asked us to read the poem or the prose or the novel and find out meanings of every difficult word we come across. And then later on, as we were developing our writing styles, you always encouraged us to use the lesser used synonyms for common words. So I think that helped me a lot in enhancing my vocabulary.
Yeah. So it's actually I should be like I should thank you because you have followed what I said. It's like mostly not only me, like normally teachers do advise the kids to use like different words, no, different vocabulary. So that is a good technique. Like you followed that, and you when you are writing, you used a lot of words, rather than using very simple words. It was always different words. Like okay. So now in English literature, you have like we had poems, prose passages, dramas, and fiction. So what you found as the most difficult part? So for what you worked a lot?
It's actually a little hard to pinpoint on exactly one thing and specifically and say, and this was the hardest part. But what I can say is that constructing valid arguments within essay answers was a very tricky part. And sometimes in questions, miss, you have to agree or disagree with certain points for the sake of the answer, even though it might not be 100% your belief. Sometimes. But I feel like those things kind of prepare you for life as well, because they teach you how things might not always come your way in life. Especially when it comes to the novel, miss, the array from which questions can be asked is pretty broad. So I think you have to be ready for whatever questions they might ask. Actually, the novel was a little hard for me, personally.
Yeah, okay. And also the other thing is like in comparison to other text, there's a lot like you have to read it and remember especially answer the context question from the novel. Have to
Yeah.
find out from where the extract is taken from and all. Yeah. So other thing, it's like time management. Like how did you like essay type question you had to finish within half an hour. Overall context questions you had only 1 hour, and other questions like half an hour for each. So how did you manage?
That is actually a hard part when it comes to the O-level literature paper because, like you said, miss, you are expected to write 4 essay answers within 2 hours.
Yes.
So during the very first few days in class, I remember, miss, you gave us as much as time we need to write an essay answer just for us to get the hang of it. But that was like the very first days. But then as we went on, you asked us to finish off a question precisely in 30 minutes. At first it was like very difficult to fit into that time frame, but like they say, practice makes it perfect. It actually did so. So the only way to manage time during the paper is to train yourself by writing so many answers fitting into the 30-minute time frame. That is the only way you can get to that standard.
So when you were doing the paper, like you approached to the essay type questions first or the context questions first? What's the method you used?
I actually finished off the context questions at first, miss, because that I feel that that's easier. When you're done with that, you can fully focus on the essay questions.
Yeah. Okay. So the context, how was it like? Could you finish the context questions within 1 hour, or like you took more than that?
It actually took me lesser than 1 hour. So it's a little trick you
Yeah.
can use. You can like use a little extra time to read and recheck your essay answers if you save time from that paper.
Yeah. Because like at least 30, instead of having 30 minutes, you can have 35 or less than that. No, at
Yeah,
least, at
exactly.
least read it again. Yeah. So then explain then your preparation. How did you like? Because how many subjects? It's 9 subjects for all of us. Then
Yeah.
literature, it's only one subject. Then in comparison to other subjects, science, maths, even Sinhala literature, no? Sinhala language and literature. So how was it? How was that experience? Like when you do 9 subjects to prepare for one subject like this, do you find like English literature harder or like how was it? It depends, like, how was it?
Yeah, this is the thing, miss. In literature, you have to actually by heart some stuff in the which comes in the anthology, because to write essay answers, you have to know the quotes. So I personally made a lot of literature short notes because to memorize all those important quotations.
Mhm.
And the most crucial part is writing as many essay answers and structured paper answers as you can. I have to again mention the immense support Miss gave, because you gave us so many questions. I mean, we basically wrote answers to any and every question we could get our hands on. I remember towards the end of the days, Miss, I had like a huge pile of answers which I've
And it
written.
was actually, we had more time. Like finally we had, yeah, last time all of us especially, yeah. Sometimes
And
like
that
teachers were fed up with all of us and the students were fed up because we also have no questions finally to give. No, it seems like we, yeah,
and Miss, that exact in a way that actually boosted my confidence as well. So I
yeah.
think writing a lot of answers actually gives you a kind of a push to like go write the exam confidently.
Yeah, because it's like when you sit at the exam, it's like even though you write a lot, even though you have an immense knowledge, when you sit on the exam in the exam hall, that with the paper, it's a totally different feeling, no? Whatever, like, yeah, everybody gets that, even a teacher, like, even if I sit, I will also get the same experience, like, you get tense, like you get that feeling. Sometimes we ask the students just to eat a piece of chocolate or something, like just refresh you, because it's a totally different thing, yeah. And like, what now, science for like all of us, then science, maths, and other subjects also, like you find quite hard subjects, like, so, what do you think, like, selecting English literature, like, is it a hard subject, or like, did you want to spend more time for the subject, or like, was it also like other subjects?
I personally wanted to spend more time with the subject, Miss, because actually it feels like when it comes to science and maths, there are theories, there are proving, you have to do everything, write down. But it's like a therapy. Like literature is like a therapy in a way if you enjoy the subject. It
Yes.
has this like the aesthetic quality to it. So it's very like it frees up your mind. It helps a lot while the stressful period of O levels.
Yeah, especially poems and all, no, like, yeah, that is very interesting point, because like most of the time when it says English literature, the kids, they are afraid of the subject, because like, how do we do literature in English? Like, English or whatever, English or Sinhala or whatever the subject, when you do literature, it's actually you are learning about life. It's a
Mhm.
wonderful experience that every student need, like, I feel like everybody needs that kind of an experience, like, no,
Yeah,
we
it's very
even,
important to your life.
yes, like, we learn about war, we learn about life, we learn about poverty, human beings, the life, it's all about life, love, and everything. So very interesting, because you all, like, yeah, that with the point that you said, like most of the time, even we find like the students, they are like depressed, they are frustrated with the things that happen, and also when, especially with the time, when the time it's going on dragging, the kids were like fed up with it. Yes, so it gives a wonderful experience that, and also you can watch movies and the dramas related to literature and all. You can watch them. Anything you
Yeah,
can add? Did you watch any?
we watched Miss. I think we watched a few clips in class as well. Vendor of Sweets clips and
Yes.
the Twilight of a Crane, the
Yeah,
play. We watched
yeah,
this. It was very fun. I had fun learning the subject actually.
yeah. Okay, so then with your, like, the knowledge that now you said you are a good reader, so and you now you did English literature for your O levels, and you went through with a good result. So what do you think, how this knowledge would help you for your future career? Like, now you said you are not going to do A levels, and you are going to do a foundation course, and you are going to establish yourself in a different way, yeah, that so how this will help you?
Miss, it's no secret that knowing the English language has become pretty much a necessity at this point. Plus, the knowledge of English language opens up so many paths when it comes to higher studies. Because just after O levels, you will be stepping into a little more complicated stage in your life. You have to choose a stream to continue your higher education in, and fluency in English will be favorable regardless of what stream you may choose. So it's actually a big help knowing the English language. Fluency in English language actually aids you a lot.
Yes. Okay, so then before wind up this, tell me then now there are a lot of like grade 6, 8, 7 like students. They are like watching this and they are going to know like how it will be useful doing English literature and how do we select it or like how to improve our English knowledge. And already we have discussed like how to approach the subject and get to get a good result of this and all. So, as a student who has quite recently finished your level obstacle and all, so what is your advice? How can we help the other students and what can we say them?
When I first selected literature as an O-level subject, miss, some people said that the chances of getting a B for literature is a lot higher than getting an A, like no matter how hard I study. The picture was painted before we even started learning the subject was that receiving an A for literature was impossible. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, that's just a myth. If you're willing to put in the effort, you can improve yourself and reach this seemingly impossible standard. If you have a passion for literature and you genuinely enjoy the subject, I would say don't doubt yourself despite what others say. And let me just wish the best of luck to everyone who may choose literature in the future. It's certainly a challenge and will take you out of your comfort zone sometimes. But trust me, you will have a lot of fun learning the subject because I did too.
Yeah. And there's a very nice point that you said. You have to, whatever the subject it is, you have to enjoy the subject. Now, if you don't understand what is literature, then no point of doing. If you don't have a good English knowledge, do English literature. You can definitely improve your English knowledge because that's not an issue. You can improve your language. English is not a very distant like the myth you said. Yeah, still. Sri Lankans still we have the concept like what we just say like kadua
Ah,
concept. English is kind of
uh,
a sword, like you can kill somebody. Like we are with
oh,
still like some of the Sri Lankans are still with that mentality, and also like when it says like doing English literature, it's like a very big thing. Like you cannot pass the subject, you cannot get an A for this subject, or like that. People think in that way. Yes, it's only you what you need. Yes, anything.
yeah, Miss, I had some friends of mine who really, really wanted to do literature but selected Western music or something else because they were scared of getting a B for that.
Yeah,
And that's
because
very
they are
unfortunate.
running after the 9A dream. Like we need to get 9As. We won't be that with English literature. Yes. But anyway, even though you don't have an A, don't worry because like rather than saying it's 9 A's, like what about saying 8 A's or whatever the number of A's? Because nobody, like when you finish your A levels and when you go to university and all, nobody would ask you all level result. It's just like yeah, it's just an obstacle. Like no one will ask from me what is your all level result, what you got for your English literature, whether you have done English. Like nobody asks. Like nobody care. Like it's only with your final career, what who you are and what you are in future. So it's like that. But when you do a subject like that, you can improve your what life, the quality of your life. You can spend a nice life. You can understand people. You can be sensitive to different subject matters in your life, and at the same time you can improve your English knowledge. Yes, with yeah, English knowledge, which will be really helpful for your future career. So currently you are doing your foundation course, right? Okay,
Yes,
so
miss.
what is your future hope? What you want to be, or like, yes?
Well, I have a passion for in the finance side. So I am pursuing a course related to finance. So although it's not necessarily literature, somebody might say it doesn't like doing literature didn't do anything for you because you're doing finance now. But I'm saying that's wrong.
Yeah,
I I gained a lot of qualities, and I learned to be sensitive towards things I wasn't aware that I could be sensitive towards before. So it made me actually grow as a person. So I think, yeah, that was something I wanted to say.
yes, yes, very true. Right. So, Vidva, thank you very much for joining with me. And what you said will be helpful for the younger students, those who are going to select English literature in future. So what the purpose of all this is, like, as you said, there is a myth in the country, like people are really, the students especially, they are, and even the parents, they are scared of the subject. So the purpose of these, all these programs, it's just to make you aware of this and to improve your confidence. Just select and do this and see how it goes. So take the challenge. It's not something hard. It's not like a sword as you are thinking. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for joining with me and spending your
The
time with
pleasure is all mine.
I
Thank
wish
you for
you all
having
the
me.
best and all the best
Thank
for your studies and
you.
everything. So bye.
Bye, Miss.